wish I would have been here for this.
It's pretty.
Yeah, you might be able to absorb it through your forehead there.
I was trying to stick it on my head like...
I keep telling him it works better rectally.
I think that's our opening right there.
That's
Keep
why,
trying to tell
that's why when people tell you to shove it up your ass, they're like looking out for you. They're like, it'll be a better experience.
Your body absorbs it better that
It's a
way.
better absorption.
You like video games. You like movies. You like CBA. You love CBA. Welcome to CBA.
Alright, anyway,
I'm ready.
welcome to the CBA Podcast. I am one of the people doing this, and my name is Tyler.
And I'm one of the other people doing it, and my name is Tyler.
And we have a special guest.
And my name's Mikey.
Yeah.
Brand new.
So yeah, this is episode 4 of the Culturally Broken Artists podcast.
Oh, good one. I didn't even catch what you were doing. And that was the best one so far. It's smooth.
Culture.
Snuck in like a ninja.
Yep, not even gonna try.
All right. Like an
Give me a second
acronym
to
ninja.
Took me a second to catch on.
Cool. Well, this is a special episode because it's our 4th episode. And it was E3 this week. Which
those
means
things.
we have a
Racist alert!
we have a lot to talk about. So this episode's going to be a little bit longer. And yeah, so
Yeah, if you don't care about E3, first of all, you're listening to the wrong podcast. This is the wrong place for you to be. But also, you can skip ahead to insert time that we finished talking about E3 here. In a cool fashion.
yeah, that time. So we're just going to get right into it. We're going to try and go somewhat in order of the press conferences. We're going to go by press conference, talk about the different games we want to talk about, the ones we don't want to talk about. Yeah.
You're not on our list.
All right.
Eh?
So, the very first one was Electronic Arts.
AKA EA.
Yeah.
AKA, yeah.
Just had to throw in there in case.
So,
Took me a second.
I think I don't know if I wrote these down in order. In fact, I don't think I actually wrote all of EA's down, so we're going to have to talk about what we got here. Titanfall 2, I think, if I remember right, was what they led off with.
Yeah, I think so.
So, we had...
Which I don't know how I feel about that.
So Titanfall 2, did we get anything before E3? Like, didn't we get something?
I mean, we knew.
Yeah,
we
but
knew.
did we have a video at all, or
No,
was that the first
no.
footage?
That was the first footage that
Okay.
we've seen of Titanfall 2.
No,
and the
it got
first-
leaked that morning. That's what it was.
Oh,
the
okay,
the
yeah.
campaign trailer got leaked that morning. First off, I guess, are we? I don't know. I'm glad they're doing a single player for Titanfall because that was the biggest flaw for number 1 was
It's just all online.
just multiplayer.
It's terrible.
And so I feel like that's a good decision. But how did you guys feel about the footage that was shown for the campaign?
I'm excited about it. So I really liked Titanfall.
The original.
I spent a lot more time with it than I thought I would.
That was one of
And
the first
so-
games on Xbox One that came
Yeah,
out.
yeah. It was
Yeah.
was it
Is
a
it?
launch?
I
was
think
a
it was
launch
a
title.
Pretty sure it was
It was
launched
a
because
launch
I
title.
got mine bundled with it.
Yeah, and
Bundle.
yeah, I really liked it. But I mean, I think that the biggest thing that happened was that people didn't play it for very long.
It was a hype, and then it just died.
Yeah.
Because it was so one-dimensional in...
Yeah, which
Concept.
I think a lot of the gameplay stuff. I'm not a big multiplayer person, and so I was like, I'm gonna play this for an hour and be done. But it was maybe the first like real big multiplayer game that I played for hours. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
online multiplayer game as far as
I
like
remember
just
when you
deathmatch
introduced it to
type
me, yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And so
How big were the maps? Were they like 8 by 8? 16?
no, they were pretty good size. It
100?
depended.
I honestly can only remember one map.
Yeah. Well, I think that the thing I remember most about those maps is the verticality of them. They
Because
had very tall maps. Like you get on
verticality.
some really tall buildings,
Yeah.
which feels cool and
It was
different.
so open in the maps.
Yeah.
aspect. I remember that.
Yeah, and so I hope that I'm sure that they keep that because I feel like with Titanfall you need to have that.
Well,
yeah,
like
I'm interested in it.
I think like with Titanfall and the way the infantry they move through that opened up the whole Call of Duty running on walls, and they opened up the whole verticality in Call of Duty. Yeah, it's just Titanfall.
Yeah, movement feels really good in that game, and so that's the reason I'm still like kind of interested in it, is because movement was so good and combat was so frenetic and fast.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like confusing fast. Well, at times it did, but not in a bad way. And in what we've seen of the footage so far, it looks like they've kind of mastered that a little more with like how they set up levels, so you can put chains together. I don't remember the sliding move in the original, and that sliding move looks pretty sweet. Yeah. And then the grappling hook, like in the air. The campaign trailer though, I like it. Obviously, there's not a lot going there for me, like because like the only things we really heard talking were this random woman and the robot. I'm like, okay, this seems like it might be character dead. Yeah, like there's no character elements.
Random woman and robot sounds like
and Titanfall 2 is coming out at a time where Titanfall is no longer a unique concept. Like, I've played 20 hours of Black Ops 3 online at this point. I've run on all the walls. I've jumped from wall to wall and run. You know what I mean? Like, and so now, like, all of the Call of Duty games are essentially what Titanfall is doing. So it doesn't have that unique factor for it anymore. The mechs are still rad. Yeah, and I think that's really excited about that.
Unique factor it has.
I feel like you still get that adrenaline rush when you hear like incoming Titanfall or prepare for Titanfall. Like that's still like
I love like getting on top of the building and then like jumping down on top of your mech. Yeah. Like all those animations were really cool. Like getting into your mech was.
See how would they? How do you think they would make it more unique again? Because I think that's like you said, that's the downfall.
I think it's what Tyler was saying. I think it's doubling down on what they did right with the first one, and hopefully that's enough. I don't know. I mean,
well, I feel like
could they add any more unique things? Like,
I feel like you need to do that. I feel like the grappling hook's a new thing. I feel like that's one of the things they need to do is add something like that.
Is that in there?
Yeah, and there's that sweet shot at the very end of when two mechs destroy each other. They both get ejected out, and the guy grapples the other guy in midair, like, pulls him forward and shoots him.
That's cool. Pretty cool.
And like. I think that was a good way to end it too. Cause that's like a huge like oh my gosh moment. Like you can do stuff like that, and so I think the sliding too, adding more maneuverability, and then just making sure your levels are tight, really tight. And
I feel like at this point, I feel like that's the big thing. I feel like we've gotten to the point again. We've added all these movement mechanics and things, but now I really am like level design in those is like so key. Because I think about Overwatch too. So like Overwatch has impeccably designed levels, I think.
I think they're really good.
And I think that Black Ops 3 does not. In some cases. There are some that are really good, but there are more that I'm kind of like, I don't really care about this. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a good point too, is like level design will be big.
Alright. Well, any final thoughts on Titanfall 2 before we move on?
I'll probably red box it. I don't know if I'll buy it. I'll definitely red box it.
I'll wait on reviews unless I have to review it. Then I'll be getting it.
At the end of all these, I'm just gonna be like, already pre-ordered.
Cool. Apparently I only had 3 things written down.
For what, EA?
For EA. So does anyone have...
Is Gears of War EA?
No, that's Microsoft.
Okay.
So I have... Next one I have is Battlefield 1. Does anyone have anything else?
I didn't have anything on Battlefield 1, but yeah, let's talk about it.
So I didn't feel like there's a large demo for it or anything that I saw yet. E3 is still going on, so
we did have footage of Snoop Dizzle in Battlefield 1, so I mean, it's got his stamp of approval.
So what annoyed the crap out of me is that we saw the same trailer 3 times for Battlefield 1.
Yeah.
I think we saw the first half of it towards the beginning of their press conference. We saw the whole thing at the end of their press conference, and we saw it again in Microsoft's press conference.
Yeah.
I'm like, at least show like a trailer, maybe a CG trailer, and then some gameplay, but don't show the same thing 3 times.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, it's just
I agree.
The gameplay, if that is gameplay in that trailer, it looks
great,
stunning.
But I mean, that's and for me, I don't feel like that's out of the ordinary for Battlefield though.
No,
like I remember that Battlefield 4 trailer.
Yeah.
Man, that gave me the next gen FIFA.
You'll be not soft.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm not a big Battlefield player, so I'm not like super looking forward to it. But like we talked about a couple podcasts ago, there's some interest there because of the World War I setting, and it might be a little more fresh than what we've played from other war shooters.
Right. Yeah, I'm not a big Battlefield player. I am a huge World War I reenactor, though, so I'll be picking it apart from a historical perspective. I'll tell you that much.
My name is... I died.
Stay tuned for a comparison video between Tyler's one-man shows of World War I reenactment and Battlefield 1.
I have dozens of fans.
All right, so do you have another game for EA?
We're gonna say Mass Effect for the end, right?
Okay, because
For the
So
NBA?
the only real thing, FIFA 17. We're not really into FIFA. Interested to see the career mode,
FIFA.
but
Okay.
other than that, but that was like their whole conference pretty much.
I was dying through all that, and I'll talk more about why later.
Yeah,
But like okay, freaking, you think people would catch on by now at E3 at like what their audience that's actually watching E3 is, and it's not people who like your weird scripted Minecraft playthroughs. It's not the people who like your one-man thespian theatrical performance by some fake soccer player who you're gonna end up playing as. He was going 150%, and it was so awkward. He was like, "You're gonna join me on my journey," and I'm like, "Whoa, let's tone it down by about like 13 points there."
So anyways, FIFA. I think that was a big miss for EA. This is a huge swing. I mean, man, they really
if it would have connected, it would have connected hard.
It was a Babe Ruth swing, but it's also a Babe Ruth miss.
But the last thing that I want to talk about that excited me about EA was they talked a lot about Star Wars games, which we've talked about on the podcast. Like, I'll take any Star Wars game you're going to make, and I'm just going to pray that it's awesome.
Yeah.
And they did announce that Amy Hennig is working on a Star Wars game.
I felt like we already knew that, though.
Did we know that?
I felt like
I didn't know that.
See, I was pretty upset about their Star Wars presentation because they didn't show like anything. Yeah. It's all information that I'm pretty sure we already had. Like Jay Raymond just came out, and we knew she was working on one.
Yeah,
and
I knew she was. I didn't know that's what Amy Hennig left. Ended up doing after. Naughty Dog. So, but I am excited for that because I think that Amy Hennig has a good sensibility for action and storytelling.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to see. That's the type of Star Wars game I feel like I want to play.
Yeah, like everything they've talked about sounds awesome.
Yeah,
I felt like it was a disappointment showing of them just telling us stuff we already knew and just coming out and talking about it. There was that brief glimpse of, I think, Visceral's Star Wars game, which I might need to watch it again. I got the vibe that that's Benedict Cumberbatch from the back, just the back of his head. He's a weird shape. He's a man with a weird shaped head.
I just want when they release the trailer to be like, in a galaxy far, far away. And then it's going to turn around and it's Benedict Cumberbatch dressed as Sherlock from BBC. And he's like, there's been a murder.
Oh my goodness. A detective Star Wars game?
That'd be dope.
Would be brilliant.
Oh man. You just hold down that R1 button and see all the clues everywhere. You just walk up and press X.
But you're using the Force.
Yeah.
But using the Force.
And you have to like drink midichlorians to like level up. This game's awesome.
Yeah.
Trademark.
Yeah. Call us. Cool. Any other EA stuff?
No, that was it for me for EA. Well, I mean, there's more stuff, but I'm gonna let you.
All right. So,
I got you.
This is an emotional moment for me. I have been a Mass Effect diehard fan since Knights of the Old Republic, since before Mass Effect even existed. Like after I played Knights of the Republic, that changed like what I expected from games and narrative in games and interaction with characters in games. And so as soon as like I beat that, I was following BioWare on whatever they were going to release. And they've had some stumbles. They've had ones I haven't, like Dragon Age Inquisition. I'm looking at you. In fact, all the Dragon Age games I didn't like.
That franchise.
But Mass Effect is one of my favorite game series of all time. And so they first announced they were in the early stages of deciding what they were going to do with the next Mass Effect about 4 years ago. And I think it's been an active development for like 3.5 years.
When did Mass Effect 3 come out?
And so Mass Effect 3 came out 2011 or 2012. I can't remember which.
So it's like they probably started developing concept wise right away.
It was like a less than a year after they were deciding ideas. And last year at E3 they had already announced what the title was, kind of like small details on the concept. So I was expecting like a good CG trailer at least. What we got was a really mediocre CG trailer that just showed some plans. So then, that was 2 E3s ago, I think, right? Yeah,
2.
Or was that 1? I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't remember
anyway,
the timeline.
Then they're like, then as N7 Day, which is November 7th, which is like Mass Effect Day, that got closer, and they're like, we have something special to show you. I'm like, oh yes, gameplay trailer. They showed the worst trailer I've ever seen for a video game. It was stock footage of space exploration, and then at the very end, like rockets launching in our time, and then at the very end there was a brief glimpse of a ship going off into space. That was a Mass Effect ship.
Was that the one that had the Shepard voiceover?
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember. I didn't even think that was Mass Effect. I remember vaguely seeing it. Like, that's
like, oh, Elon Musk.
Oh, SpaceX is doing some weird things.
They are
like NASA.
Anyway, so I was very upset that N7 Day. I'm like, so I was convinced this E3 we would get like a major in-depth thing, because this is the last E3 before it's going to be released.
Yeah.
And what we got,
under
my notes, I have just I just have it just says shit, an exclamation, because I was so upset because they gave us a behind the scenes video which showed us a lot of people drawing concept art at boards and very, very, very brief glimpses of.
Well, there was the one lady who was working on the animation, like the running animation. I mean, that was something.
Oh yeah, I got more from that alpha leak.
Oh, that one face! I remember that face. Watching that face.
And so we had brief glimpses, and the stuff they showed looked awesome.
Yeah.
But it was so brief and so minuscule. Even the stuff they showed was held for literally less than a second.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, just hold that out for at least 2 seconds and like let us see what that is.
That's what
and
she
said. And they didn't. And I was really upset. And then there's that shot of her waking up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is the trailer starting. And then it just ended. I was like,
and hard cut.
And so, so that literally lasted like what, a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and then it went into like a 15-minute EA FIFA presentation, and that whole time I understand like being an entitled video game fan, and I don't want to be that, but there's a difference between being that and like being jerked around, and this is being jerked around. This is, hey, every once in a while, we've got something big to show you on N7 Day, and it's crap. Then we got something big to show you at E3, then it's crap. And it's like, you have to wait till next fall till we even tell you anything about it.
Well, it's getting a little. It makes me a little nervous. Honestly.
It does,
because they've announced like when they want to release it. It's like Q4, right?
No, it was Q4 of 2016. They delayed it to first quarter of 17.
Okay, so like March.
Yeah.
Like kind of that spring window. That's not a lot. I mean, it's not a lot of time.
Well, dude,
I feel like if you have something you're confident in, you should be showing it off. Even if it's just a mechanic or something that you have.
Well, that's like the number one thing of any storytelling. Is like you're confident about what you have, and you show it off. Like you're saying, you just show it off. And if they're not doing that, that does.
So.
And a lot of people have been laid off and have left the team within the past year.
Interesting.
Like the head writer is gone, but I'm assuming he finished his work already by now.
Yeah.
But then like 3 or 4 other people left that team, and so I'm a little nervous. But like everything they've said about it, if that is all fulfilled, I'm stoked for it. It sounds awesome. They did release some other information very briefly. They did confirm the main protagonist is named Ryder, and that's after the first female American in space. And so I think they're branding it with a female protagonist, but you can choose male or female again. But last time they had Commander Shepard kind of as a male in all the promotional material. I think they're going with the female. And I do like this. I did read an article today that said in the original Mass Effect trilogy, Shepard was kind of like an established hero already. He already had some back history of doing something heroic of some sort. Yeah. And then he became a legend. Whereas they're saying this one has a more full hero's journey story arc of being just kind of a more normal person at first, and then working your way to like being kind of the hero, which I'm really interested in seeing.
Yeah, I think just hearing that, it makes me think that maybe there is a shift in scale a little bit, where maybe the story's not quite as epic, but I think it gives time to focus on the other side of what Mass Effect does really well is like the characters,
personnel,
and all of that stuff. So
yeah,
I hope that I hope it's good. I mean, I want it to be good.
Yeah, I hope it's good too. And end of rant. I'm done. I'm upset, but I'm hopeful.
I'm upset,
but you're still hopeful. Even after all you've been let down, you're still hopeful.
Should we grade EA on their conference?
So, about halfway through EA's conference, in the London portion of their conference, I forget his name, president of EA. He came out. He came out and was like, "I think we're winning." And I'm like, "No, you're the first people to go."
You're wrong.
I'm like, technically, yeah, because you're the only people who presented so far.
You're in first place. The field is one person, and it's you.
And I'm like, but you've had, like, honestly, I would say either theirs or Ubisoft's was my least favorite. Like, it was the most painful to watch. And it was not done well.
Yeah,
there was a lot of things like the Mass Effect thing, and spending so much time on the sports stuff. And just stuff like that.
Come with me.
Is
my journey.
And like just talking about Star Wars and not showing. I think all of that is just poor showmanship. If I'm rating it out of 10, I give it a 3.7.
Oof.
No, that's a little low. I give it a 4. I give it a 4 flat.
Okay.
4 flat.
Wow.
I wasn't quite as this. I'm not as huge of a Mass Effect diehard. I was disappointed in it. I would give it like a 5.2.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little biased, but
that's why there's more of us to get a more accurate picture. What about you, Mike? How do you grade EA?
Well, I'm not a big after seeing how big FIFA was a part of their little thing. I'm not a big fan of their sports games in general. They've been worse and worse and worse. So I give it probably a 4. Oof. 0.1.
Oof. Wait, it got better.
2.
Oh. Ooh. All right, so let's move on to our next victims. Oh, Beth, my dev buddy Beth Esda.
Beth, and the whole Esda family.
Yeah. I have a strange relationship with this woman.
So do I. I have a really love-hate relationship with Beth.
I think it's like denotes that you have a healthy personality.
I guess, yeah.
If you have a love-hate relationship with Beth.
And I kind of have a jealous relationship. Not a jealous relationship with Beth. That's the wrong way. But a bitter relationship with the other people Beth has a relationship with.
Yeah, for sure.
That does not sound healthy at all.
First things first, actually. In their opening thing, which was the code typing, did you see the Wolfenstein tease?
I did. That's exactly what I was going to talk about, because I talked about it last week. That's what I wanted, was to see that they're doing something else with the Wolfenstein license, because I loved the New Order, and then they released the Old Blood, and that was okay. But the New Order to me just felt so fresh. It felt like kind of what the first-person shooter, like as far as a narrative-focused first-person shooter needed to be. Yeah. It was big, it was dumb, and it like reveled in that fact. And I loved that game, so I'm really excited to see that there's going to be a Wolfenstein 2.
I didn't play it, but it was kind of like a grindhouse action movie kind of thing.
Well, it feels very big, just body parts, just exploding off people. Yeah. People's faces getting gory. Smashed by mechs. Like, it's great. Okay. It's a great. It's the most fun I've had killing Nazis since Call of Duty 2, probably.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I haven't killed a Nazi in a long time.
I know. Yeah, we moved away from that.
It's been a while.
So yeah, it's a good game. I'm excited to see more.
Okay. Forward. Sweet.
More dead Nazis.
Cool.
Love it.
Skyrim remaster. I don't have a lot to say about it, but
I don't have a lot.
I feel like that's very easy for them because they already have people who did mods for it. You just take that code and plug it in. And
it's just a dumb.
Which I'm kind of fun. My relationship with Skyrim is basically like 12-hour binge sessions every 13 months, 14 months, where I'll just be like, I need to go play some Skyrim, and then I play Skyrim for a while. I'm like, I am done playing Skyrim.
Purge it from your system.
So I'll probably pick it up when it's a little cheaper. I'm not gonna buy it immediately, but
it's just a cheap way to make money.
I have a problem with Bethesda's open world games, and this is where my relationship with the other people who love Bethesda comes in. is I feel like for some stupid reason they get a pass on like glitches and stuff when it comes to like reviews. But then when games like
because their games are so big, like that's what they always reference. Like it's so big, so you can expect a few bugs.
Yeah,
it's like,
but they're like some really bad bugs, like
don't
some game-breaking bugs.
Yeah,
but they get a pass when like I saw reviews for The Witcher 3, which granted got great reviews, but like people were docking points for that. I'm like, but then Fallout 4 came out and it was getting 10s, and I was like, no. And I had more problems playing Fallout 4 than I did playing Witcher 3.
Yeah,
and
are the glitches more fun in a game like that versus Witcher 3?
I think to be fair, I think it is kind of I don't care as much about those games because their narrative is as strong, which is another grief I have with them. I feel like their narrative is crap, even though everyone praises number 4 for Fallout.
It's terrible. It's boring.
I think it's their best one, but I don't think it's great.
Narrative is boring.
But I feel like because of that, and it's got kind of a goofy feel to it with like you can put your male character in a dress with a funky chef hat and some crazy glasses, and you're just like going way like you have these intense conversations, but it cuts back to you and you're just a goof. And so like the glitches are sometimes really funny with that. Like
so maybe they get a pass because the glitches.
And I was gonna say, I think that a culture has like grown up around that where at a certain point people keep playing these games just to break the crap out of them. You know what I mean? And that gets like. I kind of see the appeal of that because that's kind of the point that I'm at. That's why I'm still playing Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
But not from a glitch perspective, just because there's so much stupid stuff to do.
I'm still playing it, and I just got to Trevor again, and he's a badass.
Yeah. I honestly, I've not finished the story for Grand Theft Auto 5. I don't know how that game ends. Because once I got a dirt bike, I just lived in the mountains. Like, that's all I did. I just ride to the top and try to ride down, like, a 45-degree angle that turns into a 60-degree angle and trying to angle my bike in the right way. Anyways.
I love driving and hitting people on bikes.
Yeah.
Just watching them flip off your cars.
If I were to get Skyrim Remastered, that's what I would do.
Exactly.
I wouldn't care about that stuff. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff on Elder Scrolls Online, which I don't care about. Do you guys care about?
No.
Okay, yeah. Prey 2, which is interesting because Prey 2 had already been revealed a couple years ago, and then I think 2010?
I'm not too familiar with the Prey.
I'm not too familiar. I never played the first one.
Yeah.
But it was reintroduced as kind of like this alien thing. There's like a chase scene in the trailer, and then it just died. So I don't know exactly what happened to it, but then they reintroduced it, and I think this new approach looks more interesting.
Yeah.
It looks more psychological thriller, sci-fi-ish.
Yeah.
Oh, I Google Prey and the images come up with a cheetah and a dog.
Oh. Hey.
All right.
But yeah, there wasn't much there.
No.
And I don't really have much to add.
Yeah, I don't have much to add. I know that it's in some circles it's a very beloved game, so I'm interested to see.
It's an underground
kind of how that goes.
Oh, the first thing that was announced was Quake Champions, which they're starting to bring back all their old franchises like Wolfenstein and Doom. So naturally, Quake's coming back. Yeah, I'm not interested because I've already got my multiplayer fix with Overwatch, and I've got other games coming out that are going to take my time, and that really doesn't appeal to me a lot. But I know a lot of people are freaking out.
Yeah, people are freaking out about this.
Yeah, I'm not like interested in another like multiplayer arena. Quake has like a special place in my heart because Quake was the first-person shooter I ever played on my computer when I was like 8 or 9 years old. Which I mean,
mine was Doom.
And I never played past the first level. I just played the first part of the level where there's a dog and there's a vent you can crawl in to get a nail gun and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh! I remember you showing me.
Oh yeah.
When you were like 6th grade.
I would love, and after seeing what they've done with Quake, and I'm going to talk about Doom a little bit later. After seeing what they've done with both of those. Man, I would love to see what they do with a Quake. Now, Quake, I think, is different because it did kind of, by the end, it did evolve into a more, like, Unreal Tournament kind of contemporary. But yeah, I'm interested to see what it turns into, but not super amped about it.
Not thrilled. If it dies, I don't care.
So they had Doom DLC, which, and Fallout 4 had the Nuka World DLC, which I think is, like, they didn't show a lot of it, but like when that camera panned up and showed it was a theme park, I was like, okay,
it looks cool.
That's a cool idea for it.
And well, and I'm interested to see, like, with all the like shelter stuff that they did in Fallout 4, where you could build stuff up.
Yeah,
they're adding like the whole.
Like, I want this to turn into just a roller coaster tycoon, like craziness. Like, I haven't played Fallout 4. I probably am not going to play Fallout 4 for a while at least.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely interested to see the YouTube videos that come out
definitely.
of whatever this is. Like, I'm really excited.
They also announced that they're doing Fallout 4 in VR, which
that would be pretty cool.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not a segment of the game. It's not like a small little thing like the Final Fantasy thing looks like.
Right.
It's like the whole game.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
is that an HTC exclusive or?
Ooh, I don't know. See, I'm VR. My VR knowledge of like all the different ones and like what's for what is not put together right.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I have no idea, but I think that's something that could. At least it's something I'm at least interested in trying.
Yeah.
Because I got halfway through Fallout 4.
Exclusive?
It looks like it.
Okay.
I got out halfway through Fallout 4 before I was just like, meh.
Yeah.
And so that might, if I can pick up where I left off, then that might get me to finish
That'd be pretty rad. Yeah.
Cool. And then I think we will probably finish off their press conference with Dishonored 2, and I'll let you start off on that one.
Oh my gosh. I am so excited for Dishonored 2. Dishonored was like a sleeper hit, I think, and definitely that for me when I got it.
It definitely was.
But I played Dishonored like 2.5 times, I think, because I did the super violent playthrough and then the one where you don't kill anyone and don't trigger anything, you know? And I'm really excited to get back into that. I think that, like, aesthetically and mechanically, it feels... I just love that feel, and it feels different than anything else. I'm excited to see kind of what they do with the story, because now you're playing as Emily, who's the young girl in
the first one.
It looks like it might be a stronger story.
Yeah, I think so. And I think her story is, by its nature, going to be far more interesting than Corvo just being framed and then you either going out and taking revenge or like
which I think
going for justice the correct way.
You have the choice to play as Emily or Corvo. I think I'm more interested in playing Emily.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. And I'm also interested, I saw, so there is a way you will be able to play through Dishonored 2 without upgrading any skills.
I heard that.
Or using any supernatural abilities.
That's great.
Which is cool. And I'm definitely not going to play it that way the first time.
No.
But I will probably play it a second time and attempt that at least. But yeah, I think it looks great. We saw a lot of Dishonored. Yeah. They had a big chunk of gameplay, like 15-minute chunk of gameplay. Great new trailer. The cinematic trailer they came out with a while ago, I've probably watched like 20 times because it's just rad.
It was great.
I'm really excited for Dishonored 2.
I'm pretty excited. I couldn't, for some reason, I think it was just at a time in my life where I was like going through finals at school or something, really stressed, and so I just couldn't get into it for some reason.
Yeah.
Even though I love the aesthetic and everything they showed at E3 looked cool, I am a little worried because something I didn't like about the first one, it looks like it might still be a problem for me in this one, is no one's really gotten first-person sword combat down really well. And this one looks like they didn't do much to change it from the first one. And that worries me a bit. I'll probably still play it. I'll probably still like it. Yeah. But I just wish someone would like really put a lot of effort into making first-person sword combat feel better.
Well, he is adding a bonus to whoever does that.
Well, and I think like
I'll draw you a caricature of you if you can figure that out. Anyone out there?
I think that that's going to require people to kind of rethink the camera work in a first-person game, though. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Because I think you have to change a lot of things.
Yeah,
which
it's a difficult thing. I'm not saying it's like why hasn't anyone done it?
Yeah,
because you say like I think it's a very difficult thing to master.
Yeah,
I think with the camera, like the fixed angle, it would probably change with the VR.
Yeah, I think VR will definitely change that kind of combat. But something I don't want and I don't think will happen. I don't think VR is going to completely take over everything and remove regular games with a controller because I still want those. There's looking forward, I'm planning on having kids, and I don't imagine things going well with me being locked into a VR headset with a toddler crawling around, like opening knife drawers and stuff. Like,
at least they don't see what you're seeing and killing. It's locked up.
So, But yeah, anyway, I do think it looks really cool. I think the aesthetic is really awesome.
Yeah.
Mike,
I just thought of a first-person lightsaber game. That would be pretty sweet.
I'm sure it'll happen.
That's what was going through my mind right there.
So yeah, anyways, so that's Bethesda. That's Beth's conference.
Beth.
What is Beth's grade? I'll go first.
Okay, you go.
Are we comparing? Okay.
So I'm gonna give Bethesda. I think that it was a much. I like the conference far more than EA's.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him a strong 6.5.
Yeah.
6.5.
Because and part of that's bias against. Like I don't care as much about Fallout 4. I would probably get Skyrim eventually, but I'm not huge on it. But mostly I was excited about Dishonored. I'm excited about Wolfenstein. And that's kind of what I was really excited about by their conference. So,
Mike, what did you score, Beth?
I was going to score it at 8, but then you reminded me of Skyrim and how I'm not a big fan of that, and so I'd probably have to say 7.
Okay, yeah,
I'm just not a big fan of their games.
I liked it a lot better than EA's, and I thought it was just a very average conference for me. There were some highlights, but like some of the stuff wasn't as strong, particularly like. I don't know, like, there's a lot of stuff about Elder Scrolls Online, which
so stupid.
Yeah.
And that just might be my personal taste, but that I don't feel like was very interesting. I feel like it could have been done a lot shorter.
Yeah.
And just some stuff like that. And so I don't know, I give it a 6.3, 6.4. Cool. Right there.
All right. Great. Well, should we move on to everyone's favorite Microsoft?
Oh, yeah. Well, let's go with Microsoft.
Okay.
Dead Rising 4.
So,
I don't have a ton for this one. I'm gonna be honest.
I actually have a lot.
Okay,
I have a lot. So I'm a big Gears of War fan, and that was like the first thing. The first game they showed was Gears of War 4. So the very first thing they announced was the Slim. So I'll actually talk about that first. Which, so we'll actually talk about hardware first because there's both of them. So the Slim is. I like the look of the Slim. It doesn't look like a big clunky VCR anymore. Which the Xbox One might be uglier than the original Xbox.
Yeah, it's
like
pretty bad.
The original Xbox was ugly, but it was like kind of a product of its time. Like around that time, it looked okay.
It's supposed to look ugly,
but like this one looks hideous. I'm looking at it right now, and I have nothing but resent and despite for its aesthetic look. Yeah. And so
the Xbox 360 thing.
And so the Xbox One Slim is 40% smaller. You can get a 2 terabyte version, which I don't know why the freak they didn't give us a 2 terabyte version of the original.
Yeah.
Money.
Which is cool and all, but they also announced that this holiday, which is a lot sooner than I expected,
4th of July?
No. Mike.
You're just clearing this up.
Holiday season, like Christmas.
Okay.
So like they don't have a name for it yet, but it's Project Scorpio. It's a new Xbox One.
I've heard about that.
It's not a new Xbox completely, but it is a really powerful machine.
Yeah.
It will be able
Xbox 2?
And so I think they'll probably call Xbox One something, but like they don't have it. They didn't show any like images of it or anything, but they gave specs, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
And they made the bold claim that it's the most powerful console. Well,
yeah,
that's not super bold because PlayStation hasn't announced their next one yet. But from the rumored specs, it sounds like it might be.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna say this is a reliable source, but the NeoGAF chatter is that the Xbox One, like whatever it is, the Xbox One half step forward is more powerful than the PS4 half step forward. So,
and they tried to make it very clear that it's not like they're not going to make games that come out for it are still going to be playable on your original Xbox One.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though it's a lot more powerful, it's just going to have different settings, which you kind of got to think. They had. I think they first of all, I think they presented it really well. Mm-hmm. I think Phil Spencer said everything he needed to say when he came out, and then the video they showed had developers talking, which I feel like is important for their message with it. But I've heard arguments of this makes life hell for developers to have these multiple because they now have to hit 2 different targets for every game they make.
Yep, I was actually talking about that with my buddies back at Fort Gordon, which is, I hate to say it, Nerdville of the military. But I had a huge discussion about like where consoles are going in general and how they're just producing these new generations 4.5 Xbox Scorpio, whatever, and how that's going to be difficult for game developers to, like you're saying, build on, like, market these two different versions of one system.
Well, and I mean, we've already seen an example of that. If we think back to Arkham Knight's launch, I mean, that's basically what happened to PC. That game was unplayable on PC, and I'm pretty sure it was eventually just removed. Like, I don't think there's not a Steam version of Arkham Knight anywhere. So, but yeah, I think that it's but I think looking at it, I think the thing that's pushing both these moves is VR compatibility. I think they've gotten to the point where they're like, okay, we can't present a comparable VR experience with what we've got. Yeah. So we need to, like, basically...
And that makes sense. It's upgrading technology. But at the same time, it
sounds really powerful. I'm actually interested in getting it. But I don't know how expensive it's going to be. It's probably going to be really pricey.
Well, they've talked... I mean, I just saw figures that were talking about the base, so 500 gig being like $600. Yeah. And then getting up to like $800 for a 2 terabyte hard drive.
I was just kidding about a couple of thousand.
Yeah, which at that point... You can probably build a comparable, like, VR computer. You know what I mean? So
that's another thing I was talking about. I was like, how computers, they're just so much more... You can upgrade them so much cheaper and quicker than these consoles. And basically, console gaming is going to be struggling competing with something like that.
Yeah. Well, I think that maybe what we're getting to is you're going to pay a premium for ease of access, which is what console will provide. You know what I mean?
That's what it does provide is the ease of access.
It's for the
that's the only thing that's going to keep it alive.
Dumb people like myself who don't know what parts and how to connect them into a PC, and I don't want to take the time to learn that with.
They are the dumb version. Yeah.
So it's like something you just buy and it works.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, I've heard horror stories of like my friends who do build PCs who like their coolant system breaks and leaks all over the computer and just fries their computer and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't want to deal with that. I have a warranty on my Xbox. I can just so like, I don't know. There's pros and cons to both, but I feel like that was a big announcement, and the fact that Sony did not announce theirs in response to that.
They like pre-announced that they're not going to announce it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, wow, you're really going to...
think was a good move
for
Sony. I'm going to talk all about this.
Okay,
I think Sony killed it.
No, I think they did too. Also, like, briefly, I don't want to talk about it too much. I like the customization controllers.
Yeah, that looks fun and cool.
It's a dumb thing, but it's like, I want my own orange and turquoise controller. Like, that sounds awesome. And so the first game they showed was Gears of War 4, which I'm a big Gears fan. I'm excited to...
So is this playing with the main character's son?
Yes.
Okay.
So Marcus Phoenix takes place years after. So Gears of War I've never been there for the story, you know? They're just kind of just enough to get you by. It was just really solid gameplay for me, and I loved
the hide and cover, shoot and cover. What are
I think it's still one of the better cover shooters.
Yeah,
it's got the best cover shooter.
It's got some of the best cover mechanics still. Way better than Uncharted 4.
GTA 5 has pretty good cover.
GTA 5's gunplay, man. Oh,
it's amazing.
You come for the great storytelling, you stay for the guns.
Anyways, so Gears of War, like the very first one, had like almost a non-existent story. Like it was like, wait, what is going on? I don't care because I got a chainsaw on my gun.
That's what I loved about the first Gears of War.
Number 2 like seemed like it was gonna try and go in a more narrative direction, and then number 3 came along and was like, nope, it's forget everything. Like it's wacky. And so
number 4, then there came with
Judgment. I never played Judgment.
I heard it was the better of all of the last 2.
I've heard mixed things. Some people are like, yeah, it's just as good as the others, and then other people are like,
as in that one, it's a
prequel, so you're playing as Baird.
That's right. He's my favorite character.
And so Gears 4, you're playing as his son. The CG trailer was really cool. It came out a while ago.
Yeah. I loved it. I loved the
this gameplay was interesting for me because there's things I loved about it and things I was like, because there's really cool weather effects and things got crazy with them.
Yeah.
But it felt like
weather effects.
The player wasn't doing much. It felt like a lot of it was really scripted stuff that was like stuff was getting blown by the weather to kill certain enemies.
Yeah.
When he was like trying to turn over that giant catapult thing, he wasn't getting hit by that guy who was shooting a turret at them.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't getting hit at all. And so there's some stuff like that. I was like, eh. But then, like, I don't know. It was better than the demo they showed last year.
Yeah, for sure.
For Gears of War 4.
I'm still going to get it. I'm still going to play it. But I do have some slight worry.
Skeptical.
That it's not going to... I feel like it needs to do more new things than it's not going to do.
Right. Is this who's developing this now? Because it's not...
It's the Coalition, so it's a new studio.
Okay.
That originally was called... It was originally called Black Tusk, and they had them working on a new IP. And then they acquired the rights to Gears of War 4, and then they're like, nope, all you're going to make are Gears games.
Right.
Which
okay.
I feel like would be kind of disheartening as a developer.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
But,
like, this new IP sucks. New IP sucks. Okay? You did a bad job.
We're going to put you in this
and
creative
your
box.
studio's not going to make anything but Gears of War games. You're like, oh, great.
So good luck when you want to create something else.
So let's see if I had anything else written down for that. Yeah, it's just some cool tech. And they showed Marcus Phoenix at the end as an old man, which is kind of cool to see, but didn't really give much for it.
Dude, him and his bandana are sweet.
Him and his bandana.
We have to specify. Marcus Phoenix bandana.
They showed Halo Wars 2. I've
Halo
never played RTS on a console before. Have you guys?
No.
I have played. I've played a lot of Tropico 5.
False.
But that's more of a city builder. It's not really.
Yeah.
I can't remember this game on PS2. You were like this samurai warlord. I can't remember what it was like.
Samurai warriors?
I don't know.
I think that's something else.
I don't know, but you like commanded these samurai armies, and that's the only. That is the only, and it was fun, but that's the only experience I had.
So I don't know how RTS works on a controller because it seems like you need a mouse and keyboard.
Oh, you totally do.
Crap ton of shortcuts. I've told you I played. I recently got into StarCraft 2 a little bit.
You've not told me
very
this.
briefly.
What?
Okay, this is like 3 months ago. I played like 20 hours of StarCraft 2, and I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I think about mapping, like learning all those shortcuts that I did, which was I don't know why I did that. But the idea of actually effectively playing an RTS versus just playing... I'm sure you can play an RTS on a controller, but to get to the level of like complexity that you can with something like StarCraft...
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know how you do those shortcuts.
Can't you buy keyboards for these new...
You can. They are compatible, but... but unless the game is like built to take advantage of that, really, it's hard to map anything more than what you already have on a controller. You know what I mean?
That's true.
It's more just if you prefer like first-person shooter with a keyboard and mouse or whatever.
So like I don't know. I'm interested in trying it. The first one like had kind of a weird cult following, and like it seemed like people really liked it, but it was just too short and didn't have enough content.
Yeah,
and I feel like they've probably learned that by now. Well, I don't know. There's Mirror's Edge. That was the same. I thought the same thing with the Mirror's Edge Catalyst, but apparently not.
Yeah.
So maybe that. I thought the CG trailer. So this CG trailer for Halo Wars 2 is really the thing I wanted to talk about because I thought this was one of the best CG trailers for a game because it made it without showing gameplay. It showed kind of what the gameplay idea is because you had two generals kind of overseeing the warfare, kind of walking while everything's in slow motion, but they're normal speed, and that was
generals in the humans,
like the humans in the Covenant. So there's a human general and the what are they called? The Brute Chief. And so that kind of like without saying or showing it, it told you this is not a Halo game like you're normally used to. It's a strategy game, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, no, that was great. I really liked it actually.
Interesting. I don't remember seeing that one. I just think Halo needs to die in general. But
I think they need to take a break.
Die.
I think there's Microsoft press conference started really strong. I felt like, and then there was a lull, and that lull started with Final Fantasy 15. And holy crap, was that demo bad?
When I saw, oh my god,
that's the subtitle on that whole segment. Final Fantasy 15: Holy crap, was that demo bad?
Seriously, that thing they were fighting, like it started off, I was like, when it first started, I was like, holy cow, because he like blocked his hand, and then it was this same move of him dragging his arm across the ground at them.
Yep.
And sometimes he'd roll under it even though it was on the ground, and then sometimes he'd get hit by it, and then it was just that over and over and over again, and it lasted way too long.
Yeah,
that's another one that needs to die.
Talk about Final Fantasy. I don't know. I
hate Final Fantasy.
I have yet to be excited about anything for Final Fantasy 15, and I'm sure that's
Final
more
Fantasy
like
15 or Final Fantasy in general.
No, I mean I'm still excited by aspects of Final Fantasy. I would love for them to make a good Final Fantasy game. Because I really liked 12. I really liked Final Fantasy 12.
Was that the one on Xbox?
It was on PS2.
No, it was, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. PS2 exclusive at that point, I guess.
I think it was exclusive,
yeah. But yeah, I feel like Final Fantasy has had an identity crisis moving past that generation of consoles. Because Final Fantasy games for me still work really well as a turn-based combat. Those are the Final Fantasy games I still like and still will play sections of.
When they try to get away from that, that's where it falls apart.
Yeah. Well, and even but that's what the thing I liked about 12 was it's turn-based, but it's the timers. You know what I mean? Which I thought was cool, and I
was
liked
number 7
engaging
like that?
with that. Well, yeah, 7 did have timers, but in 12 you could also move, so you could position yourself behind cover in that time. It was
that's kind
of
of cool,
fun mechanic that I really liked.
But it's still turn-based.
Yeah.
And when they try to move away from
I feel like there's potential in the new system they're trying to go for that they do with the 13, which was the one with Lightning 13.
Yeah.
I felt like there was like potential there, and it looks like it's kind of the same kind of combat system for the new one.
Yeah.
There's definitely potential there for something really cool, but it feels like watered down and
we haven't seen it yet. That's for sure.
No, it's never connected, and it's a pain. So
that's why I'm just disappointed with anything that Final Fantasy's been
and
producing lately.
I won't go into the other reasons I hate Final Fantasy. I'm just gonna bold mark them: narrative and characters that suck, and just the whole presentation of anything that's not, having to do with like art style or gameplay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else on Final Fantasy?
No, I'm just sad.
Just tears.
We weep collectively for you. Dead Rising 4.
Yeah, you can't make a bad Dead Rising game. I don't think anyone can make a bad Dead Rising game because the focus on your development should be like,
wait, is that Microsoft?
Listen, I want everyone on my development team coming in with 5 ideas for just stupid weapons we can do, and we're going to put them in the game.
Hey, they had lightsabers.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
They had a mech suit where you could rip a post out of the ground.
It's so creative.
You had a fire-breathing Triceratops mask. Like that's
what makes it so creative is in the gameplay.
Yeah,
it's like just you can do whatever. If you think it, you can do it.
Yeah, well, that's in a time when zombie games have essentially run their course. We did have Dying Light. Dying Light was a great video game. I really liked it. But in a place where I've mostly moved on from zombie games, I still want to play Dead Rising because it's stupid and it's dumb and it's fun. And I feel like especially the original Dead Rising and Dead Rising 3 were launch titles for the console, and we're basically just like, we're just gonna push and push and push against the boundaries. We're gonna get 200 zombies on screen and you wading through them with a katana. That's awesome.
I think we have some streaming future with this game.
For sure.
But yeah, I think I was interested because it said coming to Xbox One and Windows PC,
right?
Which it didn't say exclusive.
Right,
and
that's
so
interesting.
Because Dead Rising 3 was exclusive to Xbox One and PC,
and so I just
and so I'm wondering if it's gonna come to PS4,
like a timed exclusive or something, like Tomb Raider. Oh man, I'm gonna play the crap out of Tomb Raider this winter.
The sad thing is, I own an Xbox One. I still haven't played it. I'll probably play it the same time as you.
That's cool. I'm cool.
Cool. Something I did want to talk about was Sea of Thieves.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, I'm glad you're right. I did want to bring that up.
I think I'm not a big multiplayer online fan.
Is it multiplayer online?
It's only multiplayer online.
Yeah,
it's almost MMO-ish.
Yeah,
but it looks like fun. It looks like
it does look
cool. The thing is, like, they're bringing in. I think pirate games have so much potential, especially after Black Flag.
Yeah,
and so I'm excited in that aspect. I just love pirates, and you can make a really bad one or a really good one. And this one looks like it could be a really good one.
Yeah.
Like really.
Well, what I would love is if they had system link ability for this, and then just get the 3 of us and maybe some
that would be fun too.
Just play in the same room. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Instead of having to use the.
But the fact that like you're just like literally in a crew and you have to learn how to sail like a ship. They said they just kind of like they let these people go. They didn't like tell them how to do anything. They just kind of like they had to figure out how to we need to raise the sails, or raise the anchor, set the sails.
See, that's where it's like it brings in the real life aspect in such a way that it's not going to be mundane.
It's like a super AAA glossy version of Space Team.
Yeah.
That's what I think about when I think about this game.
Exactly. I just got that up the other day. It's super fun.
And then when they get in battles with other ships, they actually blow holes in your ship and you start flooding. It goes down, it's like, oh crap, there's water filling up our ship. And you have to plug the holes. I think all this stuff looks really cool. My concern with it is there a lot to do though once you learn how to do that stuff?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there anything on the islands that's cool?
I think that'd be one of those aspects of those games that just kind of the story evolves as the players play.
Yeah.
The writer's this players wanted to go in this way. Okay, let's do something in DLC.
I feel like they need some sort of NPC city setup though. I think they need some sort of
they totally would.
Town that's not maybe eventually can be run by players if there's enough players, but they need to have something that you can spend the gold you plunder on and stuff like that.
Kind of like
it's like the tower in Destiny or the Reef. They need a social hub where you can.
That's always been in the games like that with just social hub and little headquarters for the game that you can safe zone, whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
They also announced. They actually showed first gameplay for Recore.
Yeah,
which I think it looks really interesting. It brings us. We don't have good platformers anymore. They're just 3D platformers. There's no good 3D platformers anymore that I can think of.
Yeah.
And Recore looks like it could be breaking that a bit. And I learned something interesting. I don't know if you read this. It's going to be $40.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Wow, that's cheap.
Which I don't know if that should worry me or I'm excited for.
I don't know. I've played some good $40 games. Now the $40 games I've played are both puzzle Talos Principle and The Witness, which are not gameplay heavy at all.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah,
I think that might be a good thing industry-wise, actually.
Yeah.
Which
I just am concerned that it just means it's really short or something.
Yeah.
Or they don't have a lot of hope for it to make the full price tag. But at the same time, I'm not saying that's for sure what it means.
Right.
And I have hope for it. Did you see anything on Recore, Mike?
I didn't.
Oh.
Honestly, that was news to me. Oops.
Cool. Also, something I'm excited for, Gwent is now a standalone game.
Yeah, which is awesome. That's so cool.
Wait, what is?
So in The Witcher 3, there's a card game.
Oh.
And it is really awesome.
Did you know they actually... Have you ever had, the actual
Dude,
physical
I have.
card game?
I have the physical decks.
Okay.
And it's hard to play that way because in the game it tells
you...
you...
want more math.
It tells you everything it does. It does the math for you. And doing it by yourself is hard. And
I remember seeing it play. And it looks like a fun game. And I'm like, wow, that's... And that's what amazed me with The Witcher in general is the detail. Again, detail. That's what I love about GTA 5. It's the detail that goes in the time to actually make side things fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is the best side game I've ever played in a video game.
Oh, yeah.
So the fact they're making a standalone game has me excited that I can play against real people online. Yeah. There's also mention of crafting cards, which is I don't know if I like that.
But I think the thing is you have to do it in Minecraft. And then you can link your Minecraft game, and then you build a cart that goes off screen, and it just comes into your Gwent game.
I would kill someone.
They're just tying all these.
Man.
Finally.
Also, Inside has a release date, and it's soon. It's the end of this month.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so I'm really excited to play Inside.
I like when they do that.
Yeah. It's
really manipulative in it, but it's an easy way to make me feel good about your conference. Be check this cool thing out, get it in 2 weeks.
Yeah. And Recore, September.
Yeah.
Which is nice because we just saw the first gameplay for it.
Yeah, for sure.
So Recore's the name of the card game?
No. Gwent is the name of the card game. And I did not see when...
yeah, I didn't see
Recore's Gwent. Okay, cool.
Gears 4 is October. That's all I really care about.
Yeah.
Cool. So, Mike, what would you give Microsoft?
Microsoft, I'm a big, huge fan of all the the franchises have coming out, Dead Rising, Gears of War. And so I would have to give it on the upper end, 7.25.
Yeah.
7.25.
No, I liked it. I really want Microsoft to start doing well. I think that mainly because I love Microsoft's controller so much better than any other controller out there. So that's the console I want to play on.
Okay, real quick before we end.
Yeah.
Bluetooth compatibility. The new controllers are going to be Bluetooth. Finally, instead of that proprietary, dumb 802.11 that they've been using. So
it's a pain in the butt. I can never set up my controller.
Oh my gosh,
802.11.
Yeah, and that means that just opens up. Sorry, I just remembered I saw that and I was like, finally.
Yeah.
Because that's
where headphones are going in general. Just want to say
it. But yeah, anyways, so that's
a good point because when I first bought it, I honestly disconnected my controller after every time I turned off my Xbox. Yeah, and I had to reconnect it, and it wouldn't register. Yeah, so that's good.
So
anyway, I want them to do well. I felt like it was a good, solid. When it first time, I was like, oh, that was pretty good. Like it was, I wasn't let down. I wasn't jumping for joy at it.
Yeah.
They didn't announce a lot of new stuff. There was no blowing away moment either. But overall, I think it was a good press conference. I give it a 7.6.
I was going to give it an 8. Just because I think it was presented well. I think they did a lot of things right. I think they announced their new consoles, which I was dreading. I think they did it really well.
Yeah, they handled it.
And I think they've got a strong lineup of games going into the next year. Still haven't heard anything about Below.
Yeah, freaking.
If anyone knows anything about that, tell me. Tell me about it.
They'll give you a bonus.
But yeah, and I think they've got a really strong thing going forward. I thought it was a great conference. So awesome. Well, let's do the other big boys, Sony.
Yeah.
So first of all, I just want to talk about. I think Sony's strategy going into E3 is solid. I think that they
with the 4.5.
Yeah.
Or in general.
Sony does. I feel like Sony does this consistently with E3. They're usually the last conference.
Yeah, I think that's
which is purpose. Great. Yeah. But then also, a couple days before E3, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, PS 4.5, it is a thing. You're not going to see it though, but just so you know, it's real." And so everyone's like, "Dude, Sony just confirmed that this is real." So they've monopolized 2 days before E3 with people just talking about their
totally
stuff.
Just piss on people.
Yeah. And then all these conferences start and they're like, "Oh, look at all this cool stuff." And then the end is Sony.
Yeah.
And generally they do conferences well.
Yeah. They haven't had a bad conference in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. They have dialed it in. It feels tight. It feels good. Anyways.
Do you remember? Okay, real quick. Do you remember Square Enix's conference? Was that last year?
I don't remember.
It was the most awkward, the worst conference I've ever seen. I would have given it a 0.8. Just and not some of the
because
games,
they showed up.
Some of the games are interesting, but
points.
The presentation was so bad.
Yeah,
it was so awkward and so terrible that I'm glad they didn't do another one this year.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Square Enix, for not doing another one. Anyway, back to Sony.
Okay, we need to talk about the first thing that we saw. Sony's conference. Yeah. God of War 4 is happening.
So, yeah. I didn't like that they, things I don't... This is the only flaw I really had with their presentation, was they spent way too long at the beginning with the orchestra playing for far too long for me.
Yeah.
I was like, alright, we get it. You got an orchestra there, you're in a fancy theater, let's see the games. But then they're like, okay, game.
Yeah, seriously.
And so, God of War 4.
Okay. Have you guys played God of War?
I've played.
The only one that's played.
I'm not a big fan.
Okay, so here's the thing. I've played parts of 2 and 3. I've watched all the cutscenes for all of them.
Okay.
And I really hate the love that people have for Kratos. Mm-hmm. They went nuts when he came on screen. I'm like, I hate this character. He's not a likable character, and he doesn't have any redeeming qualities in his flaws. He's just a piece of crap.
Yeah. Well, let's get this out of the way.
Major.
The misogyny and ridiculousness of God of War has drenched itself in the blood of women, children. There's nothing endearing to me about the narrative in those games.
No. And the voice acting is really bad, by the way.
And I don't love the voice acting.
I hate the voice acting.
I do kind of love Kratos' deep, low, rumbly
voice.
I like
that it's deep. I don't think he's a good actor, and it's really over dramatic.
Yeah.
And stuff like a white trash bro. This is the coolest thing. It's Michael Bay made a game and it's awesome. Yeah.
So, but let's get to the things that make God of War.
Exactly. Yeah, there are good things about God of War.
easily in my top 5 favorite action games I've ever played. The combat and upgrade system in that game, I just remember playing that on PS2 as like a revelation to me. And the diversity of enemies in God of War, I think they've always done really well.
I've not thought about that, but that's a good point.
They've always been games that have given you a bunch of tools to use, and then kind of forced you to use all of them in creative ways. And so I didn't play Ascension, which was the last God of War game.
I haven't touched Ascension or watched anything on Ascension.
But I think it was kind of a letdown. I'm not sure exactly why people didn't love it. And I didn't know that I wanted another God of War game until I saw the stuff for this God of War game.
Yeah.
And first of all, hopefully the story does promise to be a little less like gross, I guess.
Well, more intelligent, I feel like.
Yeah. More human, I think, is what it felt like. And
less white trash.
Yeah, and that first like thing with the combat when he gets attacked by those 2 tree things and the kid kind of runs off and he turns his axe into ice.
That was cool. So,
and then he throws it and smashes
it. Did it give you chills?
Oh man.
Oh. So my first impression, and like I still feel this way, like I understand it. I would have liked to see like kind of a reboot of a different character, like the same concept of like fighting gods in the Norse mythology.
See, that's
but with a different character that's not Kratos.
Yeah.
And the part of that's because I hate Kratos. And I think he's a dumb character. But this one makes it look like they're trying to make him a little more deep, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like there is some...
he's got a beard. He's got to be a little deeper.
There is some conflict there with his son, like, with how hard he should be on him, like, how soft he should be on him, and, like, that could be a redeeming thing for this character.
Yeah.
Could be.
Also, the camera's a lot different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The camera is significantly different, I feel like. Because usually in most hack and slash games in general, and in God of War especially, you'd go into the camera would kind of change, but when you're in an area fighting multiple guys,
it's like a fixed dynamic hybrid.
It would go up to be like kind of a fixed more camera.
Yeah.
And then in this, it was really tight over the shoulder for a lot of it. And I wonder if that's going to be a lot of the game or if it's going to change.
Yeah.
Did you like it? Because you've played the most God of War.
Yeah, I like it. I think that's what God of War needs. I think it needs to be rebooted, not only theme and story wise, but mechanic wise. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't help but think, I don't know if this is a connection I should make, but I couldn't help but think of Last of Us.
No,
I've heard
that's what I was just thinking once you were saying that. And I was like, yeah.
And so to me, like, that combat, the idea of taking the combat of the original God of War games, which is very combo based, and like you're trying to get like 150, you know what I mean? And just like waves of enemies. The idea of making it a more grounded, a little more brutal. I mean, I don't know how you make God of War more brutal. That sounds like a dumb thing to say, but like more grounded and like heavy.
Well, in all honesty,
better.
That wasn't nearly as violent as the God of War games, but it felt more visceral because it was that up close.
Well, when he's like punching the guy he punches him like 12 times in the face. You know what I mean?
Because you're like right behind him. You're like almost. It's not a first person per se, but you're like there with the character.
And that's what The Last of Us did so well with their camera, was made it visceral, made it feel more impactful. And I feel like I'm hoping that's what it's trying to do, is make that same type of thing. Did you watch the trailer?
I haven't seen any. Okay. No, I haven't.
Well, you got to watch it because like I'm not a God of War fan. In fact, I wasn't looking forward to it at all. Now I'm interested in playing it.
Yeah, see, and that's what I was kind of like, maybe if I do watch it, but I've never been a big guy. I'm impressed with the concept and the whole mythology and killing gods. I think that's cool. Yeah. I thought God of War did a terrible job in bringing that in general, but maybe if with this new one they could reboot
it does look a lot more like mature, not in like a sex and violence type of way, but mature in like we've grown up. This isn't like
see, that's another thing. That's all it seemed to be, is it's sex and violence.
This seems more like it's trying to do something. I'm still having a problem with the voice acting. I don't like the kid has an American accent.
Yeah.
Like, the kid...
No. British.
Like, they're in... Well, I don't know. Like, where are they necessarily?
Northern Europe.
But the Norse mythology, so it's like, it shouldn't be an American accent.
Yeah.
They should just do it in Latin.
That would be sweet.
They could do a Far Cry Primal and just do it all in some made-up language.
Yeah.
Still, man. Anyways, but yeah, I thought as I was watching that, I was like, "Holy, this is like the Sony exclusive that I've been waiting for. Like, I've been waiting for these Sony exclusives that we didn't get for a long time after the PS4 launched. We didn't get Uncharted 4 until a few months ago.
Yeah.
And other than that,
The Order.
I mean, I love Until Dawn. I really think Until Dawn
but
is
Until
a
Dawn's
great
like a
game.
special place.
Yeah, and it's a game that, honestly, if I hadn't played it with a group of people the first time I played it, like 3 or 4 people, and we just like riff on it and then like get mad at jump scares, like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't. To me, that's not a game that you play alone. No, I feel like it plays really well with a group.
That with a group.
Yeah, and it's super fun, but that's not what I wanted. I wanted like the Heavenly Sword for the PS4. Exactly. I wanted something like that made an impact
God of
on
War
the PS3
4 is
for
that
this.
for you?
And for me, I think that God of War 4 could be that.
Could
Uncharted 4, I think, did a great job.
Uncharted 4
loved
was that for
4.
me.
But it's taken a long time to get there.
It has, and I feel like people were like talking about the PS4 like it was like a flawless console that had like everything already going for it, and that's what I was expecting. But then I got one and I was let down, man. Like, there's good things about it, but it didn't have the library that was kind of promised, you know?
Well, and I think
like, I've played, like, I know this isn't the case for you, but I've played my Xbox One just as much as my PS4, which is I didn't think would happen.
Yeah. Well, and I think honestly, I think the Xbox had a better earlier library, like Sunset Overdrive.
Sunset Overdrive was sweet.
Dead Rising 3. Even that is not maybe as a whole game, but just for that concept, I mean,
you
just can't go wrong.
Even when Titanfall came out too, that was
Titanfall was
a huge announcement, I think, for the Xbox One.
So,
and it did
anyways, but yeah, that's what it was for me.
So, they did something they don't normally do. They showed a clip of a game early, and then they ended with the same thing. So we'll just talk about that now, both parts of it. It's called Days Gone.
Oh, Days.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I heard they were like really intrigued by the first part of it and not as intrigued by the second part of it. I'm kind of the opposite. The first part, I was kind of like, it felt like it was people trying to do The Last of Us, but not well. It felt like a poor man's Last of Us. And my favorite part was when he's like, talking about, I don't know if it's his wife or his girlfriend who's riding on the back of the motorcycle with him. He's like, I'll always remember you, but now I'm a bounty hunter. And I was like, that's the dumbest line. That's so stupid. And like,
goodbye.
So yeah, I was like, so then that was the point where it completely lost me. I was like, okay, this is gonna be kind of dumb. But then they ended their show with this insane World War Z-esque flood of zombies coming after this guy, which it honestly wasn't that diverse of a gameplay section. It was a lot of just running and turning around shooting, turning around shooting. But just like, I guess the tech was kind of cool to see that many zombies climbing over each other, which gave some promise for the gameplay for me. How did you feel about Days Gone?
I wasn't particularly wowed by it in any way. I feel like I'm kind of done with zombies at this point, unless it's the over-the-top Dead Rising stuff, you know.
Zombies in general.
So yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see it. It kind of in the first part, I was like, oh, so this is like Walking Dead meets Sons of Anarchy or something. You know what I mean? Like, we've got this, and so I was like, that's, I don't know.
Well, here's the interesting thing. So, Days Gone is the name of the game. Days Gone By is the name of the first volume of Walking Dead comic. It's also the name of the first episode of the Walking Dead show. And so when it said Days Gone, I was expecting it to I was expecting the second time it'd be like, oh, it'll reveal more of the title. It's a new Walking Dead game, but it didn't. So I'm like, what? Did you just take that from them?
Interesting.
So I don't know what that is. Did you see this demo, Mike?
I did not.
Okay.
Actually, so I have nothing much to say, but other than that, I'm kind of tired of zombies. In general.
Yeah.
Like, I love Walking Dead. But just no.
No, yeah.
I'm losing it.
If you're doing zombie, you have to do something new.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
That's something incredibly new.
Yes, for sure.
Because it's getting old. So The Last Guardian is.
It has a release.
It has a release date.
Oh my goodness!
And it's soonish.
Yeah,
October 25th.
Right? Yeah,
googling it.
And so Shadow of the Colossus is in my top 10 games of all time.
For sure.
There we go. That's why I recognize it.
I've been really excited for this game. I am still very worried about it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of trying to rein back my hopes because I know this has been in development hell for 6
and that
years.
could be
at least, yeah.
That could be a good and bad thing. Like, they want to take their time, but
Well, no, it wasn't like a take your time thing. It was like a...
We're not making this. Oh, wait, now we are.
Yeah, exactly.
No, wait, now we're not making it again. We're done.
Yeah, so...
Oh,
now
wait, yes.
So
okay.
if it was a take your time thing, I'd be a little more like...
Yeah.
I'd be frustrated, but I'd be like, okay, I'm more hopeful, but...
I'd be like, oh, this is going to be the No Man's Sky of giant bird animal games. Which is what I mean, who doesn't want that?
So, the thing I'm still confused about that they haven't explained yet is that kid looks like a different graphical style than the rest of the game. And I'm wondering if that's on purpose or if that was like a hardware limitation on the PS3 that they just didn't update.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or what. But
could be just, here you go.
I'm wondering if like he's from another dimension or something. And that's like how they show it.
Yeah.
Or like something like that.
It's terrible. That's how they show you a different dimension.
Like he looks like cartoony and like cell shaded and everything else is like...
It's like Mario 2D pixelated.
Trying to be realistic, and so it's like it's a really interesting choice, but
Yeah.
I'm stoked. Do you have anything?
Yeah, I'm for sure. I mean, I'm for sure gonna play it. How do you not play The Last Guardian?
Yeah.
At this point, you will play The Last Guardian.
like the first one set such a strong foundation that any fan they're gonna buy it just because it's.
I feel like that because I didn't play Ico until after I played Shadow of the Colossus, and Ico's like way different from Shadow of the Colossus.
I didn't like Ico. I remember you
borrowed
it. It's a PS3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, they
remastered
released it.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Ico. Which is unfortunate.
And I think that this one, from what I've seen, this one feels more like Ico, which I kind of like the puzzle aspect of Ico and kind of that exploration and discovery.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see.
I'm a fan of that studio and their narrative presentation.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of interaction between characters,
simple.
but it's very like if you really look at the bullet points of the story, it's really short.
Yeah.
But it's very powerful and it's very presented incredibly well.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons it's in my top 10 games is one because of the sense of scale in it and like just those moments of the style and the atmosphere presented really well. But the story is like really like they tell you just enough. And the reason, and like, there's some information that you just don't know, and that actually makes it better, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there's an air of mystery to it that's like, you get enough to know what's going on, but there's like, what the hell? This is like so intriguing.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping for that same thing with Last Guardian.
Yeah, for sure.
Like possibly even like not knowing why this bird, rat, dog thing is there, but just that it is, and like that could be interesting.
Yeah.
But the fact that it has a release date has me ecstatic.
Yeah, super stoked.
Oh man, just brought me back to 12 years old.
Yeah.
Mike, did you see anything for Horizon Zero Dawn?
No, but I heard stuff about it, but not much.
Have you seen did you see like last year's footage stuff? You posted something about it on Facebook.
Horizon Zero Dawn?
The one with the robot dinosaurs and the girl with the bow.
What?
Yeah, you did post this.
Man, the military did something to me.
It's all that weed you're smoking at the military base, man.
They've given a release date for Horizon Zero Dawn, right?
I didn't write it down.
No way,
2017, I think.
Oh my gosh, okay. That game looks pretty freaking sweet.
Yeah, I
Dude,
think it looks pretty rad.
Okay.
Yeah, you should watch the...
Did I post
After this,
like...
you should watch the demo for...
Oh my gosh, I remember, okay.
So,
It's like...
my big problem with it is... the girl. One, her name's kind of stupid because it's... they pronounce it Aloy, I think, but it's like Alloy. Like
Alloy?
And I think that's dumb. It's like James Cameron-ish. But she talks way too much. Like when you're playing, she's she's thinking out loud constantly. Like, oh, I better go over here, and like it's almost like not letting you figure things out for yourself. Sometimes she's like, oh, I better use this to do that, and she talks way too much, and it's annoying. Stop doing that in games.
Women in general, stop doing that.
Whoa! I don't put myself on with that comment.
I have a comment to add to that once I'm done.
Oh boy,
you're done.
We're all looking forward to. Wow! Once again,
once you're done,
not affiliated with that. But yeah, no. But that was like really that, and like some of the writing of the dialogue with the characters, like it, and the acting too, felt really dry and not convincing, and I didn't like who they got for voice actors for him. It just that part was a letdown, but everything else floored me. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I hope that maybe in context all those things come together to be not as glaring. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm really excited for it. It looks weird and dumb and cool. Like,
no, it doesn't look dumb. It just looks cool.
No, but robot dinosaurs is dumb. That is a dumb thing.
But they made it look cool.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But honestly, like as long as you have the graphics to back it up, I'll play anything with robot dinosaurs.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that's just something that's like until it gets killed, like zombies have gotten killed.
Yeah.
In the genre, I'm like, sign me up, man.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
It reminded me. I can't remember what it reminded me of, but just that raw, like bringing future and past together in this.
You're thinking of the Transformers cartoon with the Dinobots.
Yeah. No. Beast Wars.
Beast Wars.
Man. Beast Wars. Oh, man. We need to talk about the Beast Wars video game sometimes. You ever play the Beast Wars video game?
I actually did.
Man, that was a
Are you talking about
game.
the fighting one?
No.
Oh, I played the fighting one.
Oh, no.
I remember that.
Yeah. Anyways.
Okay,
And the small soldiers.
So, looks really cool. They showed a good demo. Like the demo was probably one of the best demos at E3 because it showed.
Oh my gosh.
It showed some like
You killed this whole whatchamacallit.
everyday gameplay, and then
Never mind. I'm thinking the thing I posted. I remember. Continue.
it showed like the in between gameplay, and then showed like a boss fight, which was really cool. And then like all the different things she did to beat this boss. She tried a lot of different methods to do it, and that was really cool to see.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
You wanna? I think it'd be fitting for you to lead us off on Detroit.
Okay.
Become human.
For
2 reasons. Because you lived in Detroit and served your mission there.
Yeah.
And
the hood.
Also, you've played the most David Cage games.
Yeah, which I wear as a badge inside my jacket so people don't see it. Man, I want Detroit Become Human to be good.
Yeah.
I want it to deliver on everything that David Cage has promised for 3 games. I want this to be David Cage's magnum opus.
Yeah.
That's a great analogy.
It looks good. David Cage games always look good, though. I feel like technically they always look good.
Well, I would argue that like if Heavy Rain had good voice acting, it would be an outstanding game.
Yeah, it's definitely a better game than Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah.
Which
I haven't played. I've only played Heavy Rain.
Yeah,
Heavy Rain got 9 out of 10 on IGN. And 4.8.
We don't use those 3 letters on this show.
My bad.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm fine with them.
Yeah, but I think the thing about Beyond Two Souls, I'm gonna play it again because I played it riding a wave of hype.
Yeah.
That was just.
Was that right after The Last of Us 2 that you played it?
Yeah, I think, or right before maybe. It was around that same time.
Is that one chick from
Ellen Page?
Yeah, Ellen Page is in, and Willem Dafoe. Great cast. Anyways, Beyond Two Souls had much less to do with choice. Heavy Rain had several endings that were satisfying and cool, I think.
Yeah.
And they did that effectively through storytelling with you playing the different characters and things. So I hope it looks... Detroit Become Human promises a little bit to be a mix of both of those, which I would be cool with. And I love that it's... I mean, Heavy Rain was more just kind of straight up crime story. We had Beyond Two Souls was basically a supernatural kind of epic thing, and then we get to do kind of like a cyberpunk narrative driven something, which is cool and I'm excited for. So tentatively excited, hopeful that David Cage will pull it off and stick the landing. But yeah, definitely playing it.
I thought the trailer was really well done because it showed the scenario and then it's like, here's all and then it showed really briefly all the possible outcomes. There were a lot.
Yeah, and I hope that goes beyond single encounters.
Yeah.
And into the larger narrative.
Yeah, which, like, I feel like, I hope each kind of scenario has that many different types of endings, but then the endings you do end up with affect the overall ending of the game.
Yeah.
Which I feel like, honestly, that hasn't been done as well in any game.
No.
I love Mass Effect, and that was something people were really pissed about the ending of 3 was it came down to a choice at the end. It wasn't all your choices made a difference in the end.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a disappointment. So I feel like a game that can actually try to do that would be impressive.
Yeah, for sure.
Then they talked a lot about VR, PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
Which, with it, they announced Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
Which, I was pleased.
Yeah.
I was pleased that they've abandoned Leon Kennedy. And
as sad as I was to see him in his leather jacket go, I'm glad he's gone.
I'm happy for the time we had together.
Yeah.
But in a weird way. But yeah, I think this is what this franchise needs. This franchise really needs to just get a new reboot, and I think it's all in first person. I think, and which is great. And if it's in VR, that's even better. That is
first person horror. Like, why? That's man.
So have you played the demo yet?
No, I haven't.
So the demo's out now. I haven't played it. Is the demo out for VR? Oh no, Sony VR is not even out. Yeah. So I'm really that's a game I kind of want to play on VR and not on.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It comes out January, and VR will be out by then.
Yeah.
And so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. There wasn't a lot given in the demo of if it's zombies or it looks more of a ghost thing.
It's really
but
weird.
like,
it's basically just an atmosphere trailer more than anything.
Yeah. But it looked interesting.
Yeah. And they did announce PlayStation VR October 13th.
October 13th, $400.
Yeah, $399.
It wasn't 50 games will be available by the time it launches until the end of the year.
Yeah, and they've got some really the games they've shown. They have some really cool games. I don't know if you've heard of Hyperlight Cube. It's like a VR Tetris kind of, and it's like this puzzle game where you're like manipulating. It looks really cool, and it looks like, but that's going to be a PlayStation. That's going to be on PSVR. I'm trying to think of some other ones. They have some other really cool ones.
Yeah.
But
well, the thing I noticed
Star Wars one, right?
Oh yeah,
and Batman
on Battlefront. There's a Star Wars X-Wing mission.
Yeah.
There's one called Farpoint, I believe.
Oh yeah,
which is a space one where like they're on an alien planet. So I'm a sucker for outer space and space exploration. That's why I love Mass Effect so much.
I was about to say Mass Effect.
And so something about just like the mystery of like unsolved mysteries out in space, like makes me super interested. I'm a super sucker. I'm a sucker for that. Like girls are a sucker for acoustic solo performers. So anything with that, I'm really interested in. And in VR, I really was hoping they were going to announce No Man's Sky in VR.
Man, that would be awesome.
I don't think that's going to happen because it's so late in development.
Yeah.
Whatever happened with that Alien VR thing? That Alien game.
Alien Isolation?
Yeah.
Oh, it just came out. They showed it in VR a lot. But, I mean, it wasn't ever released for VR because VR
that was the whole point of
it.
It was
like
the first
they just
VR
showed
game.
it at a lot of shows. Stupid! But if I do get VR, that will definitely be one of the games I play first. Is Alien Isolation.
Also,
I love that game.
Something I think you'd be interested in. They're releasing a Batman Arkham game for VR. Which I don't know what you would do. Yeah,
do you like first person?
They didn't show any gameplay. They just kind of showed a trailer with the cowl of Batman and Mark Hamill as Joker speaking over it.
Oh man!
And
which honestly, what else do you need?
Honestly, Mark Hamill is an awesome Joker.
Oh my gosh!
Like he does such a good job. And so that intrigues me. I don't know.
I don't know how they would do that.
But yeah,
he's my hero.
And it's being developed by Rocksteady.
I think so. Yeah.
And then here's one I was really confused on whether it was VR or not. Was the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare demo?
Yeah, I don't know.
Was that?
I don't know either.
I'm gonna say this. Yeah. The trailer for Infinite War got a lot of hate online.
Yeah.
People tore it apart. If this was not called Call of Duty Infinite Warfare and they showed this demo, people would be losing their minds over it. I guarantee people would be like, that looks awesome. But because it's Call of Duty, people are like, oh, it's dumb.
Yeah.
Like,
Call of Duty is dumb.
Because the internet's just got a dumb thing where if something has a stigma, you have to stick by the stigma, otherwise you're not cool.
Yeah.
So I'm on the train too. Like Call of Duty has gotten boring, stale, and it's not like the first Modern Warfare was the only one I'm interested in, and it wasn't, and it didn't blow me away. Yeah, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare is in space.
Okay.
So the demo started. I didn't say what it was.
It's turning into Halo.
You just you're walking on the ship. They're like, there's another ship. They're like doing a mission prep, and you get out and you do this dogfight. And it looks really awesome.
It does look cool. But
if it's on rails, which I've heard it might be, that would be dumb.
Which I'm.
Like Star Fox.
I think that might be a lot of the VR experience we get at the
exactly.
beginning.
Yeah.
And especially things that are like It's like when the theme park makes a ride for, they're cashing in on a license, which Sony could be doing, and they're not dumb for doing it. Like, it's a smart move.
You gotta start somewhere.
It's a business move, but I that would honestly ruin that experience for me if it being on rails. Because if that is not on rails, I get to experience that in VR. I'll buy Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Because that in VR would be so cool.
Yeah, that'd be rad.
I know. Do you have any other thoughts on it at all?
No, I'm mostly the same. I'm interested to see how all of it works. I'm interested to see I'm interested to see the unique titles that come for VR.
Yeah,
and
talking about VR in general.
Not Final Fantasy 15.
Definitely, hell no.
That was
Final Fantasy 15 VR.
It's like a small segment, and it's like a mini game. It looks so bad. It looks terrible.
Final Fantasy mini games are bad.
But I'm interested too in just, as far as experiencing VR and like experiencing it with people, I'm totally interested in an on rails Call of Duty thing where you just get to put it on and experience VR for the first time. You know what I mean? I think that's a great intro point.
The novelty of it will kind of sell it at first, and so
that's what sold
it's not. Yeah, it's not something that I'm going to go out of my way to get a hold of. But
which also say PSVR looks. All the games they showed for it looked insanely better graphic quality than anything Ubisoft showed.
Yeah,
Ubisoft's was like, oh, this was made about 20 years ago.
So
that's what I love about Google Cardboard. I just gotta throw that out there.
So
that's some great.
Believe it or not, what we've talked about so far for Sony's only halfway through their conference.
Yeah, they killed it. Oh man, I love this conference.
So I'm not super stoked about is the Crash Bandicoot remasters, all three of them. I'm not.
I hate the remastered idea.
But I think they're kind of testing the waters to see, can we bring this franchise back?
Yeah,
which I think is a smart move.
I think it's a smart move.
CTR Racing.
I think
they need to do that.
I think beyond the nostalgia that's attached to people who played Crash Bandicoot in the 90s,
it's not a great game.
Sure, I'm not sure it translates well to now.
I guess
the camera,
like the whole Spyro,
is bad.
Spyro, it's just like that's.
Spyro's a little different because Crash Bandicoot is a character that is only made popular in the 90s. Yeah. He's like the most 90s video game character I can think of. He's like so fast and like goofy and weird, and he was wearing jeans. Like, I don't know.
They always had those weird Burger King-esque commercials with him in the like a real person in a Crash costume doing awkward stuff.
That is so true.
It's such a weird.
But that's what I loved. CTR Racing competed with Mario Kart 64 so well.
He was kind of like Mario's rival for the PlayStation, but not nearly not as much of a rival as they thought he was.
Yeah. Well, I think of when I think of Naughty Dog things that I want to come back. I mean, they brought back Ratchet and Clank, which I've yet to play. I really want to play the new Ratchet and Clank game. No, I haven't seen it. I've heard the movie's not great, but I heard the new game is awesome. I'd much rather see like Jak and Daxter. Yeah. Or Jak Team Racing. Like, those are like the games. So I'm not super stoked for Crash Bandicoot. I loved the level I got to play in Uncharted 4, though.
Yeah, I think that was a good,
it was great
good small section that was kind of, it kind of fit well. It was random at first, but then it kind of tied in nicely at the end.
Yeah, for sure.
Then came the only, like, one of the other parts I didn't like about their thing was the super long Lego Star Wars trailer.
Yeah.
That was insanely long, which Lego Star Wars games, like, I kind of like have a special place for them in my heart. Like,
they're fun.
They're not great. I would never play one for more than an hour.
Yeah.
But I do like playing them for that hour.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate them for what they are.
Like Lego Marvel.
But that was just so long.
Fun. Yeah.
And it basically went through the whole movie, like highlights of the whole movie.
Seriously. Yeah.
But then,
if you haven't seen it,
our boy came home.
What?
Hideo Kojima took the stage.
Oh my gosh.
And people lost their minds. And I have a love-hate relationship with Kojima, like, and all his work.
Kojima game right there?
Hideo Kojima, he took the stage. Yeah. He's the guy who created Metal Gear Solid.
Oh.
So, but since
and if you didn't know that by the end of Metal Gear Solid 5, there's nothing more that he could have done.
His name appears a million times.
At the beginning of every mission.
So he can no longer make Metal Gear games because he doesn't work for Konami anymore, and they own it. So he made PT, which you played a little bit of, the scary super demo.
The Silent Hill game that was abandoned.
Was gonna be Silent Hill, and Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead was gonna star in it.
It looks like he's starring in this new game.
Exactly. So they showed a cinematic trailer, which, oh my goodness, this cinematic trailer was... It showed nothing about the game, and I was okay with that.
Yeah.
Because it's so interesting.
Holy cow, it looks weird. Like,
yeah.
Just seeing, I was already like a little weirded out. I was like, okay, naked man. So beach, naked man. Wait, what the?
Daryl.
Baby! There's a baby!
Baby attached by Matrix umbilical cord.
I was like, what?
And then the baby disappears. The baby's handprints are all over him.
Yeah.
When did they show Daryl's face?
Oh, it's like at the beginning.
It's like, yeah, pretty close. They like first see his feet, then his naked body, and then him, and then his head. And he stands up, and then he like looks over. There's all these like dead whales and sea animals, and he looks in the sky. There's like these four of them, just four silhouettes of people far away, like hovering in the air that slowly fade out.
That is creepy. Awesome.
And then like that's the end. And now I'm like, okay, I want to play whatever this is because it just seems super interesting.
Well, so he did PT, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, his presentation with whatever he's gonna do is amazing.
Yeah.
And that's why
it looks cool. Like, I'm interested to see.
Do you think it's gonna have like a little Silent Hill aspect to it?
So here's my thing. Here's my thing about Kojima.
Me too.
I worry, attaching to that, the feel of PT is incredible.
Yeah.
The feel of this trailer is incredible. Bridging that to a Kojima game where you're actually playing it
will be interesting.
Is kind of a disconnect for me. You know what I mean?
It's gonna be like, I'm kind of worried because that's one thing I didn't like about the Metal Gear games was the cutscenes were movies. They were movies,
which I don't mind that actually, as long as they're good.
But sit down,
and which was changed in 5. I mean, there weren't cutscenes like that in 5.
But the thing that worries me is like I feel like he gets more love for being a narrative genius than he deserves because his narratives are honestly a mess. Yeah. They're so convoluted. They don't join well together.
Nope.
There was a dissonance in number 5 because they got new voice actors for some characters, which were more gritty and real, but they still had Kazura Miller, who was my most hated character in video games.
Yeah.
Like, the speech he gives at the beginning when he's like, "They took everything from us, boss." And he just repeats the same thing over and over again way too intensely. Yeah. And really bad acting. And so I do worry about that game.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping maybe they're going to get more, I don't know, more toned down with the
I think like what this trailer promises is some like weird like subtlety and some huge ass mystery.
Yeah.
Which has not ever happened ever in a Kojima game. Like there's maybe mystery before, but all subtlety goes out the window once you start playing a Metal Gear Solid game. You know what I mean? So so that's the biggest thing. I'm just interested to see how that goes.
Yeah. I do have a small worry that the whole game might be like the prologue for Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah.
Where it's like you're not really that much in control.
Yeah.
I do worry about that. But man, I love Kojima's weirdness.
Yeah.
And I love that trailer.
Yeah.
Then we had by the way, the name of that game is called Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Which fits that's not a real word, is it? Which fits into Kojima's titles. Like he constantly does
Death Stranding,
like Ground Zeroes and like stuff like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. It's weird.
Death Stranding.
But yeah. Then a really weird announcement. A Spider-Man game from the new Marvel Cinematic Universe, I believe, like a tie-in game, which we haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
That happened, and it's by Insomniac Games.
That's okay. Nothing about like new Spider-Man game excites me until Insomniac is like tied to it, and now I'm like, holy crap, we could get Spider-Man 2 again. Like we could get a really good Spider-Man game.
Which is weird to me because they made Sunset Overdrive,
right?
And it seemed like Sony let them go.
Yeah.
And Microsoft's like, okay, we'll take you. And this kind of like,
it's weird.
Being the guy who kind of was rooting for Microsoft, like even though I love my PS4 and everything, like I just want them to be able to compete better.
Yeah.
And to have them kind of go back, I was like, oh, like come on. So this was exclusive, right?
Yeah, it's a PS4 exclusive.
Gosh, see, like I wanted them to be like, I wanted them to stay with Microsoft, but I'm still okay with it because I have both. But yeah, anyway, that's weird. It was that's probably one of the weirdest announcements.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't anticipate any Spider-Man related news coming out of E3 at all. But man, yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited mostly because
games. Those are like the really only superhero games besides like Batman. They really translate well into a video game.
Yeah, well, and they for a
Superman,
long time they haven't. I mean, that's I feel like since Spider-Man 2, they really haven't.
I loved Ultimate Spider-Man. I like that.
But yeah, so I'm excited to see what Insomniac does because I loved their movement in Sunset Overdrive. Like that type of stuff was awesome.
That game was so over the top.
So I'm excited to see what happens with Spider-Man.
Agreed.
With
so Sony, just game after game after game.
Yeah,
I loved that approach of we're just gonna let the games talk for themselves. I feel like they're the only people who have learned that we don't need these awkward interactions or interviews or anything else on stage. We don't need gimmicky dancers or anything. Just show us game after game after game, and they had the best conference, like hands down the best conference. There were a couple low points for me, but overall I give it an 8.8.
Yeah,
almost a 9.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd give it like a 9.2. Like that was.
I was gonna say 9.
Man, all those
just based off the simple discussion that we've had over it, it's like holy smokes.
Yeah. Just all the games, like all the games that we had a lot to say about. Even like just the sheer number of those, like
even the ones like we weren't really interested in, like we're worthy of us talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
So then we'll go to one of the worst ones. Ubisoft. So yeah, Ubisoft. Where are my notes for Ubisoft?
Non-existent.
No.
So
I'm just first of all, I'm just glad they're not doing another Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
I say in my prayers every night. Thank you for that.
Holy
for the past few weeks.
Smokes, it's like.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another franchise. Choice. It's like, come on. I could go on and on. Anyways,
highlights for you? Anything?
Do I have highlights for Ubisoft? I do. So I'm just gonna run through some things real quick. I think we're probably gonna skip just to get them there. I did start off with like, I'm sick of Aisha Tyler. I don't like her as the host. I don't know what that word says. I can't read my own handwriting. I did my notes like. As soon as those dancers came out, like my note here is bolded. Have they lost their damn minds? Like Ubisoft is the one who didn't get the briefing that we don't like this really awkward stuff.
Yeah.
Them in FIFA.
So they start off with Ghost Recon Wildlands, which, like once again, it's just another one of those games where it's like they want to push like the co-op multiplayer aspect of it, which granted looked cool how they did it.
Yeah.
And it looked like fun, but I just feel like it's gonna feel stale and like everything else.
I hope it doesn't. I'm actually really excited for Wildlands. Since they released the first trailer a while ago, I really want that to be good. Because I think it's the perfect game. Like, I mean, I played like Destiny with my brothers for a long time, and we haven't played that for a while. And something like that looks like something that I'd play with a group of people, but not alone.
Yeah, it does not. Yeah, exactly. It does not look like something I want to play alone.
Yeah, for sure.
The South Park. The Fractured But Whole.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Neither of you have played Stick of Truth.
I want to play Stick of Truth. There's just like...
The only South Park game we were talking about this. The only South Park game I played was the one on 64.
Which was a classic.
Where you can pee on a snowball and throw it.
I'm amazed.
You can pee on a snowball.
You played that. I have not played that.
Oh man.
But
yeah. It's like the one game
like,
I remember.
I want to play Stick of Truth so bad, but then there's like some parts of me that I'm just like, sometimes I can't handle South Park just because it's too... It's too crass sometimes for me, which it takes a lot for me to be like. But when it gets to that point, I'm kind of like, okay, like, this is just for like shock value. It's not for like because it's like good writing, you know. Even though I feel like there's good writing in South Park.
So, I've played Stick of Truth twice, and I just started it again because I got Stick of Truth on PS4. Because I pre-ordered South Park, which is dumb. Like I don't pre-order hardly anything anymore. But I really wanted to play Stick of Truth again, and I didn't want to have to go back to my PlayStation 3. Yeah. So I love Stick of Truth. Mostly, I should preface this by saying over the last 2 years, I watched all 19 seasons of South Park. And I love South Park. I think, especially like now, I feel like the last few seasons of South Park are just impeccable. But yeah, I'm really excited. I think it looks cool. They've changed some stuff about the mechanics. There's now like a lot of classes you can choose from. They only had like 3 on the screen in the demo.
Yeah, but they said like 12.
12, yeah, which is kind of cool.
Like classes isn't.
So, are you aware with how the Stick of Truth worked?
No.
So this is, I think, the best approach to make a South Park game.
Oh yeah.
Was the first one was they were all pretending to be in like Middle Earth kind of thing, like as a fantasy role playing, and you're the new kid, and you get to pick your class. So it's still like a medieval RPG, but it's fake.
Yeah.
And so
my favorite part of Stick of Truth when I first was playing it was they ask you your name at the beginning, and so you type your name in. The little box pops up, and you type your name in. And Carmen's like, "Oh, so it appears you typed in douchebag. Is that the name you want to keep?" And so there's yes or no. And if you choose no, he's like, "Are you sure, douchebag?" And it's like no. He's like, "All right, here's douchebag," and that's what everyone calls you the rest of the game. Like your name is douchebag. So it's just dumb, dumb stuff like that.
But so the new one is they've stopped playing like fantasy. Like elves and stuff.
Yeah, because like all the kids, but that was basically all the kids in South Park were role playing like a fantasy world. There's humans versus elves.
That is
and so now they're playing superheroes.
Yeah.
And it's called the Fracture Butthole, as in BUTWHOLE. And it's like Marvel's Captain America Civil War, where there's these 2 warring factions because they couldn't agree on what order to do their cinematic universe in. Which I thought was amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
And so
they've always been creative with
this. Is like I really want to play Stick of Truth, but like I still have those reservations because I really want to play this game.
Yeah. So and that's the thing. So the it's turn-based combat in Stick of Truth, which was great because there were elements of like kind of quick time elements within fights, like you could block. Yeah. So it's a much more active, like, turn-based experience, I feel like. Yeah. And it was developed by Obsidian.
Yeah.
Which still just blows my mind. Because I've been playing Pillars of Eternity, and, like, these guys made South Park. They're awesome. But, so they did show some gameplay tweaks for the new one that involve more tactical, like, actual movement. Actual kind of tactical RPG elements where it's still turn-based, but you're moving and you can be behind cover. You can push people into your other characters that will like give you an extra attack on that person. Like, so they just brought in a whole bunch of new things that I think will be like what is needed for it to be different enough from Stick of Truth that you're not just playing Stick of Truth again, essentially. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm really excited for it.
I think that was one of their highlights of their conference for sure.
Yeah. Even the awkward interaction of that guy from Ubisoft not knowing what to do with trade
So I'm pretty freaking sick of the Division. Yeah. I want that to leave E3 for good.
Yeah.
Please, just get rid of it. Like, do trailers elsewhere. We're done with it at E3. No more. Then they showed a really awkward demo for the Eagle Flight VR. Which I actually got. I opened a new tab and started looking at my Facebook. In fact, Ubisoft was the only conference where I didn't pay attention to half the stuff because it was just bad.
Are you flying on the back of an eagle?
No, it's like 2 teams made up of eagles. There's a rabbit, and you have to get the rabbit and take it back to your nest to score a point. The graphics look like something that a studio of 3 people made. And
good. All right,
and that's what all their VR games look like.
Here we go.
Their Star Trek VR, which I thought was a cool idea to how they presented it with like the cast of the different Star Treks being on the ship using it, and it's a cool idea. It's like kind of like that space team thing kind of again where you're learning how to be on a Star Trek ship. Well, this one you're all in VR and you're all in position on the deck of the ship.
I feel like philosophically a Star Trek game is a difficult one to make.
That's the thing. It's like you can't. It's Star Trek.
Well, to me, it's kind of like the Space Center when you go to the Space Center, and it's kind of that same idea, which I think is cool. But here's my thing with VR: it's meant to be more immersive, and when your graphics are that poor, it loses the immersion.
Yeah,
and so I feel like
Google Cardboard again.
So I feel like that was the big letdown with that.
Yeah. And
that's kind of holding it back from the immersion it could have.
For sure.
I'd be interested in trying it, never buying it.
Yeah.
Redbox.
And redboxing a VR HTC Vive or whatever.
Yep.
So another game that
the future
I know is kind of have mixed reviews, and I know it's not gonna be like the biggest hit, but I'm really interested in trying is For Honor.
Oh yeah.
So it's a game that puts samurais against Vikings against what's the other class? Knights.
Yeah.
Nazis.
Knights. I wish. And
this give you Wolfenstein 2.
So first of all, whoever the creative developer on that, the guy who comes out, he's a weird dude.
Yeah.
He is so crazy. But it's like a new combat system where it's based on direction where your sword is resting. So you choose whether to rest here, or above kind of your head. Mm-hmm. And if someone swings in one of the places you're not going to block it.
Yeah.
So is it...
It's the next logical step from Nidhogg.
Yeah.
We're jumping from Nidhogg to For Honor. I feel like is the...
So last year they showed it, and it was just strictly like multiplayer.
Yeah.
This year was all about the single player, and there's a campaign, and there's a story.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, that's weird and unexpected.
Is this first person?
No, it's third person. And the combat it's new. That's what I appreciate about it. It's going to be something new, and they're trying new things and taking that risk, and I really appreciate that, especially with something like swordplay.
Yeah, for sure.
And
first person.
I am a huge. I love samurai. I love that culture. And so I'm really excited to play as a samurai. Yeah. And I think they would kill all those other guys. So I am excited to try that.
This is sweet. I'm just looking at the pictures online, and it just
And so when it comes out, I'm gonna want to play with you guys.
It looks sweet.
Yeah, it looks really fun.
Look at that picture.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Dishonor. So the only other thing that I wanted to talk about was they introduced a game called Steep.
Okay, yeah, I actually
like
want to talk about this.
Yeah, so Steep is like an open
Steep was,
world...
and by the way, this was their big announcement.
Yeah, this is the big one. Which I don't know if it warrants that.
No.
But Steep is basically an open world where it's just mountains in the Alps, right?
Yeah.
And it's just kind of an extreme sports, persistently online open world.
Which is weird.
Yeah, it's
weird. Risky.
Hey, that's what you loved about Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get to that.
Okay, my bad.
Which was where you're wingsuiting, you're snowboarding, you're skiing.
And paragliding. Which I'm not too stoked about paragliding.
Yeah. Paragliding. But I watched the video, and I was like, okay, I might play a lot of this because it feels like it does appeal to me in the same way that Grand Theft Auto does. One of the games I loved the most was SSX on Tour. I loved that.
I never played on Tour. I played a few of the other ones.
Yeah, me and my brothers played SSX on Tour. It's the best because you could ski in it, and we skied growing up, so it finally felt like we were cool in a video game. Anyways, but it just looks kind of fun like that. I just love the idea of getting people together and skiing down a dumb mountain and doing dumb stuff.
Well,
and
like, so the camera looks like you can choose between third and first person.
Yeah,
and the first person looks nuts.
Yeah,
and that's what I really liked about it was I don't know if it's going to be a good decision, but it's going to make it feel different and it's going to make it feel more real. Is the camera's crazy.
Yeah.
Like the first person camera, it just feels so intense and like you're about to die every single second. Which is like how it feels when, like I snowboarded for a while, and when you're doing something crazy, it's like every second is like, oh my gosh. And so and for someone like me, this is really appealing because I used to skateboard, snowboard, and stuff, and I quit because I kept crashing and breaking bones, and it was getting expensive to like get a pass every year, and now I don't anymore, and I miss it. And this is like the closest thing you can get.
Yeah.
And like it's really cool because
the
like
safety of your own home.
It's cool because like it is an open world thing, and then they have a ton of cool features with it. Like you can if you do a trail, and like say you're snowboarding and you do a trail and you do something really cool, you go in the menu. Well, you just press start and you can pull up your replay basically of what you just did, and it's marked by a trail with like keyframes basically on dots, and you can go back to each dot and like play it in slow motion. You can change the camera to see what you did. You can pick highlight points, and then you can take that same trail and make it a challenge for your online friends, and then you can put your own barriers like rules. Like you have to do a front flip off of this rock and stick it, and then your friends will see that in their world and they can go to it.
That's pretty cool. This is Ubisoft?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, I envision myself playing this game as just turning down all the music in-game and making a Spotify playlist of SSX on Tour's soundtrack and just playing that. Like, just Red Flag by Billy Talent all day.
And possibly the soundtracks from the first 2 Tony Hawk games.
Yeah, for sure.
Tony Hawk on Game Boy?
Tony Hawk on Game Boy. The pinnacle of Tony Hawks.
Really, it really was. It really was.
But yeah, is there anything else I put here? It's just like, it doesn't look like something I'll spend a ton of time in, but it looks like something I'll play.
You might.
Like, okay, when they first started showing it, I was like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
Like, I won't play this. And then by the end, I was like, okay, I'm probably gonna play this.
Yeah.
And
then by the time you get it, you're like, this is...
Well, it's definitely a game that I see myself spending like an hour at a time with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like going in, like doing a sick run, and
Exactly.
then being like, "Cool, I'm like done."
Doing a sick run, bro.
It doesn't look like something I'm in a marathon, but
Yeah.
it's something I'll do that exact same
I'll
thing.
keep returning to it.
And what really stuck out for me is, especially with this studio, there was no one getting shot or stabbed.
Yeah.
And that was kind of refreshing. It was kind of like, and it wasn't like a regular sports game either. It was an open world game where no one was getting shot or stabbed.
Yeah.
Isn't that so sad that like the only other games are sports games that you don't get shot or stabbed?
And it's like, wow, like this is
Or
something
ran over?
this is a very unique game. And I even though I hated Ubisoft's conference and there's a lot of stupid stuff, this is something I appreciate they took the risk to do and that they're really putting a lot of effort and money into.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Deep.
So, and that was the last game they showed. They also showed Trials of Blood Dragon, which is funny and quirky and weird, but nothing like spectacular. They showed a big section on the Assassin's Creed film, which we're going to talk about another time. And Watch Dogs 2, which I'm kind of also sick of seeing because didn't we see Watch Dogs 1 like for the last time last year for like 3 years in a row, and then and now we have Watch Dogs 2. I'm so sick of Watch Dogs. Like even like it just doesn't look. I don't know, there's nothing separating it enough from everything else.
Yeah. Well, we talked about it last week.
Yeah.
Like it had so many problems. I doubt they're gonna fix.
And how many trailers? We saw 2 trailers before E3, and we saw 2 videos at E3. That's 4 whole videos for Watch Dogs 2. We get it.
Yeah.
This conference was too long. It was 2 hours long. All the others were an hour or an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And this was just way too long, dragged out, dumb, really awkward moments. And so I would give it a 5.8.
Yeah. Woo! I was gonna go 4.7, just because of Steep alone. Pretty much, like
that's
that was
the only thing
redeeming
that's really
thing.
holding
Well,
me.
and South Park. I talked a ton about South Park.
Steep and South Park had me enough, and like, and For Honor had me being, and I feel like they handled the Star Trek VR well, even though I'm not interested in it.
Yeah.
I feel like that was handled well, so I think that bumped it up higher than EA's for me.
Yeah. Okay.
What did I give EA's? Like, what was it?
You
Terrible.
You gave it like a
4.2 or 1 or something.
4. It was 1. It was 1. I gave them 4.8.
Okay. Sweet. Cool. Well, that does it for the conferences, right? Is there any other games you want to talk about?
No. I got it all out.
Mafia 3's coming out.
Oh yeah, Mafia 3 and Deus Ex.
And Deus Ex,
Both of those look good.
which I don't have a lot honestly to say about them other than that I'm excited for them. And
I'm interested in them.
especially Mafia 3 because Mafia 3, and part of that's because I spent so much time in Louisiana.
Yeah.
But I feel like, but that's also kind of what's refreshing about that game.
Yeah.
Is the time period it takes in, the protagonist and his situation, and the fact that no games really take place in New Orleans.
Yeah, for sure.
And that it just gave it a whole nother feel. Like Watch Dogs just feels like Grand Theft Auto because it's like this inner city area, and Mafia 3 doesn't feel like it. It feels like something new.
Yeah, for sure. So this is the end of this episode. We're posting another episode that's part 2 of this, where we talk about things that we did this week and extend our challenges to each other. So goodbye for now.
Bye!
Ever so briefly.
Okay.